Hey guys, welcome back to this week's poll here on Comic Relief Cast. I'm your host Jake.
And I'm Josh.
And before we get started, we wanted to address the fact that, as you guys I'm sure all know, yesterday was the passing of Stan Lee. A huge figure in the comic book community, and his passing has been felt throughout the entire fandom, and we definitely want to just pay our respects to Stan. Without him, we would not even have a job. I don't think any comic shop in the country would even exist. A lot of our childhoods probably wouldn't exist. There's a lot of things that go with Stan Lee and the legacy he's left behind for all of us. And I just want to make sure everyone is out there commemorating his memory, and just pay your respects in any way you feel is appropriate. But with that, we're gonna try and get the energy back up here. Say, remember Stan, we love you, dude.
We'll miss you.
Rest in peace. I hope you get to see Joan again. But with that, we want to get the energy back up, like I said, and here are the things we are going to be tackling in this week's episode. There's a lot from Marvel. We're going to have a lot to go over, so we're going to try and do our best to give you everything we can as quickly as we can. Infinity Warps, number 1. Fantastic Four, number 3. Thor, number 7. Venom, number 8. The Amazing Spider-Man, number 9. The Black Order, number 1. Cosmic Ghost Rider, the finale, issue 5. Captain America, issue 5. Uncanny X-Men, number 1. And Avengers 10, or AKA Avengers issue 700. And with that, we are going to start it right off with Infinity Warps by a whole host of writers and artists from, Jim Zub, Todd Knock, Mariko Tamaki, Ryan North, bunch of other. There's a lot of people on here, guys.
There's tons.
But honestly, I don't even need to go over this issue too much. I'm going to save you guys a lot of time saying, there is so many other things coming out from Marvel this week. Do not bother picking this up if you are really at all interested in basically anything else this week. This book is not necessary for your Infinity Wars read. It's not necessary for anything in that main title. This is just a fluff piece. It's something just goofy, offbeat. It's not important. It doesn't have anything of weight to say. I mean, I really couldn't stand this book. Josh, how'd you feel?
It was definitely a kind of like filler issue, fluff piece, just to kind of introduce the idea that there is more than just Soldier Supreme, Iron Hammer, and Weapon Hex, and in this whole amalgam of the universe being combined into two. And it was really kind of it's a pointless issue. It definitely is. It had fun moments, but for the most part it was just a pointless issue.
It's honestly nothing but a novelty item. You don't need this. You don't need this to understand what's going on in Infinity Wars. I don't think this is going to further your experience in reading what's going on in the main title. So with that, this week we are going to unveil our rating system, which is going to be Excelsiors, and this issue is going to be a 0.5 Excelsiors for me.
I'm giving it a 1 Excelsior.
All right, moving on to Fantastic Four, number 3 by Dan Slott, Sarah Pichelli. So Fantastic Four took a big month-long break during October, had no issues come out. I don't really know exactly what pushed it back, but issue 3 is finally here. And if you guys have been reading the first 2 issues, the first issue was a little bit of second issue really got the ball moving on this, and this one obviously picks up right afterwards with, what was her name? The Griever?
Yeah, the Griever.
The new villain, the Griever,
yep.
Who personally I think is pretty awesome.
The Griever's pretty cool. It kind of has a classic Fantastic Four type villain feel.
Right, it feels very cosmic.
Yeah.
Dan Slott does a great job of, again, kind of setting the parameters of the way science works in this world, right? He talks about the Griever being kind of an abstract entity, an entity that is the embodiment of an abstract idea, the way like the In-Betweener, the Beyonder, Eternity, Divinity, all these characters are just like these personifications of abstract ideas, and that is kind of what the Griever is. So they're bringing in all previous members who have ever been on a team called the Fantastic Four to come in.
Even if it's not canon.
Even if it's not canon. But no, what this book really is, it is a family book. It's a book about the main Fantastic Four family and how they interact, and I love the interactions between these characters. I think Dan Slott's doing an incredible job, especially when he throws in all the science-y jargon and stuff. It just really enhances your reading experience, in my opinion.
It was good. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite read this week, but it does, the family aspect of it is very nice. And seeing all these different characters that was Fantastic Four members all kind of teaming up together is really nice. I I like how the one thing I was worried about it when I first saw it, and because of the beautiful cover, it shows, you know, by
Esad Ribic, I love it.
It shows that there's all these different past Fantastic Four members joining together. I was kind of worried like it's going to take away from the reunion of, you know, the Fantastic Four. And Dan Slott does a good job at making that, like, even though there's this huge battle going on, he still has them take time to, like, while they're doing their plan, that they are kind of, you know, acting like the Fantastic Four and doing a reunion the way that you imagine a Fantastic Four doing it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that during that reunion, as they're talking to each other, you know, what's the plan? What's the plan? Oh my God, I missed you. How are you doing? Like, everything in the background, it's never out of your mind. So there's like this feeling of tension the entire time you're reading the book. I think Dan Slott does a great job of balancing that family dynamic with this kind of tense battle that's going on in the background that they know inevitably they need to get back to. So I'm really digging this book. These first 3 issues, I think, have been a great start to it. What I think promises to be a very strong Fantastic Four run. Feels like they're kind of coming back with a bang. Like I said, first issue was a little rough going, a little boring at times. But this issue I think is great, and maybe not worth a month-long wait on it, because you can kind of forget what happened in the last issue, but you'll quickly refresh yourself just reading the book. And so I am going to give this a recommendation. I definitely recommend picking this book up. I'm going to give it a 3.6 Excelsiors.
I'm at 3.25.
Okay, so we're not too far. Quickly, I'm going to go back to on Thor issue 7 by Jason Aaron, and actually Tony Moore does the art on this. Yeah, you've got
Tony Moore from Walking Dead and Deadpool.
Yeah. You got Mike Del Mundo on the cover art, so I think a lot of people, I've noticed a lot of people are not feeling Mike Del Mundo on the interiors during the first, I think, 4 or 5 issues of this book.
I mean, it was good there for a little bit, but it did get a little, it's kind of hard to make sense of what's going on in these interiors.
And the fan response has not been overwhelmingly positive, but I can say that Tony Moore on this book is great, and this book, it takes a kind of step back from the story that was going on before, and it tells this tale back from when Thor was a young child. Well, not a child, but a young god, right? Coming to Midgard for the first time. Odin, not exactly happy with it, and he kind of falls for this Viking woman who's just a brute of a woman, but, you know, Thor digs it, and it kind of falls into this plan of Loki's. I'm not going to tell you exactly how it plays out, but I could not put this book down. I don't know what it is about Jason Aaron on Thor, but I mean, he's got me tooth and nail by this book. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but if you guys share any of the same sentiments as I do for Jason Aaron's Thor, this is one of the best issues of the run, hands down in my opinion. I'm going to give this one 3.95 Excelsiors.
Nice. And back by popular demand, we have Venom number 8, because Josh gets in trouble when he does not review Venom.
You cannot go without reviewing Venom.
By Donny Cates and Ivan Coelho. Blah, blah, blah. The interior, Coelho kills it on this interior, but this all follows Brock. He is being questioned by the Maker, who is the Reed Richards of the Ultimate Universe, and he stole a part of the Dragon symbiote from Null. And somebody stole it back, and so he's unraveling his plan, and all Eddie really wants to do is he wants to be able to communicate with with Venom, the symbiote, but his other, that's what he calls it, the other is not responding. He's asleep, he's not responding to him, they don't know exactly what's going on, but all he really wants to do is talk to him and then go visit Flash's grave, because it's a person that shared you know, the other with them. And some pretty cool stuff happens in this. There's one thing in particular that's really cool that's going to get a lot of people excited, especially if you are a Venom fan. I think that a lot of people is going to be excited, but I'm not going to say it. I want to so bad, though. I'm trying not to.
Don't do it.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. But with all this being said, I am going to give this a 3.95 Excelsior.
Okay, I will say too that cover is evocative. I love it. I kind of hope it causes a little bit of controversy with the religious.
Oh yeah, because there's
groups because
pentagram
on that. Yeah, there's that upside down pentagram on his chest, and I if that does happen, you might see that book go up in price. Yeah. Moving on to The Amazing Spider-Man number 9 by Nick Spencer and Humberto Ramos. And, you know, me and you were singing this book's praises when it first started off, those first few issues with Spencer and Otley. We loved it. And I gotta say, since Ramos has taken over on the art, I've slowly been enjoying this book less and less. And it makes me start to kind of question myself, was I loving that book as much as I was partly due to just Ryan Ottley's art. I mean, there are still some great moments in this book, don't get me wrong, and I think Nick Spencer's actually exploring some really cool ideas with this. In this book, he introduces the lookups, and I think that's a really interesting idea, something I never would have thought of, kind of a support group for people who are superhero adjacent, right? They're not superheroes, but they know superheroes like Foggy Nelson or MJ or, you know, those people. They keep these secrets, and they need somewhere to go and kind of air it out.
Dude, bro, it's supposed to be anonymous. You're sitting here naming all these people out. It's supposed to be anonymous.
Yeah, I just tagged them all, didn't I?
Yeah.
But no, it's an idea I'd never thought about, never thought to even explore, but it fleshes out this universe even more, and I like those types of ideas. But Ramos's art is a bit of a deterrent for me. At times it looks great, and other times I'm just like, this is just not what I really want from Spider-Man anymore. But there are great character moments, and that's kind of what keeps me reading Spider-Man, is I'm living in between the panels for those character moments, and they're starting to explore from last issue the Guild of Thieves, or the Thieves Guild. Is it Guild of Thieves or Thieves Guild?
Thieves Guild.
That's what I thought. Okay, and so, you know, that's going on. You get a Black Cat team up with this book. You see some great panels, shots, but overall, not a lot is happening in this book as far as what Peter Parker and Spider-Man's doing. It feels a little bit more MJ focused in here, and I like that. There is some great moments between Black Cat and Spider-Man, though. So, how did you feel?
I feel like this whole Ramos arc, because it's only supposed to be for Otley while he's gone for a little bit, I feel like it's kind of like an arc that's not like supposed to be really special. It's not supposed to stick out, and it definitely doesn't, but it's still not a bad Spider-Man story. It's still a good Spider-Man story.
No, it's not.
But it's kind of funny that you mentioned the whole thing about Otley, because I said that back with Invincible, because part of me goes,
Corey Walker would
because when they would switch back over to Corey Walker, anytime Corey Walker was doing the art and it wasn't Otley, I wasn't into it. It wasn't that great for me. But when Otley was on the art, then I'd be like, so is it? And then it's kind of a coincidence, too, that it's a slow running in the beginning, but it doesn't pick up until Otley's on the art.
Right.
So it kind of makes me go, is the Otley's art just so good that it makes the writer better?
It's possible. I
mean,
mean, a good
it's
artist
very
will do
possible.
that. Yeah.
But I mean, I will say that this is still a good Spider-Man storyline. I don't think it will disappoint people, but it is disappointing not to be seeing Otley's art on these.
And I'm still waiting for the Craven thing to come back. You know, like that was set up heavily in the first 5 or 6 issues, and I'm still kind of waiting for that to hit back. This is a soft recommendation on my list. I think there are a few other things here for Marvel I would definitely pick up over Spider-Man if you have a limited budget. But with this one, I will say 3.3 Excelsiors.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you. I'm actually a little bit higher though, 3.45 Excelsiors.
Right. Sounds good. Moving on to the Black Order #1 by Derek Landy and penciler's Philip Tan. Philip Tan is a great artist. In this book, I don't think his art shines as great as it has in the past, especially some of the great covers he does. But this is exploring Thanos's henchmen, the children, quote-unquote, children of Thanos. You got Ebony Maw, Black Swan, Corvus Glaive, Black Dwarf, and Proxima Midnight, all in this book. And it's like, you know, what do they do without Thanos? Thanos has been beheaded now, so I guess this is in continuity with the Infinity Wars and what's happening in the Marvel Universe as a whole. But you know, it's what are these missions they're doing now? I guess the Grandmaster's kind of sending them off to do their own missions, and it's a bit of a goofy book. It's not really something I expected to read. Some of the kind of lighthearted elements in this book, like Corvus Glaive kind of worrying how funny he is to the rest of the team and kind of what his place in the team is. But there's a lot of new characters introduced in this book, kind of the people that they're going against, and I don't find them all that entertaining or all that interesting myself. Some of the better parts of the book are just when I think Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive are having their interactions. I think they're a lot of fun to read. There's a moment here I'm like, hey, hashtag relationship goals, but what do you think?
I actually really enjoyed it. I do like, I'm a little biased because I like Corvus Glaive, and I did really enjoy the Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight parts. There is some stuff that, like when you were talking about, Philip Tan's pencils aren't the greatest as what because like of what he has done before. Some stuff is like what Jake pointed out when we were reading it. It's kind of hard to make out what exactly is going on, but I still think that at most part the book does look very nice, and it's very beautiful in some aspects. I do really like the storyline. There's something about Corvus Glaive worrying if he's funny. Part of me was kind of going, well, I don't know if this feels very Corvus Glaive to me. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, I like it.
See, it throws me off from having read him in Infinity because during Jonathan Hickman's Infinity run, like he was just seemed like a very different character from this.
Oh yeah. And then, but see, my whole thing is like the way I view it now is Thanos is gone. He's beheaded. What do they do? So what now on top of like what is there for him to think about? Where do I stand in this team? Like. Ebony Maw is obviously the badass smart one, and Proxima is the fucking brutalist.
Yeah.
And it's like, so where am I? Am I the funny one? Am I not the funny one? And it was kind of fun, and I guess kind of relatable at times for me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, what this book boils down to, as far as my waning interest, going further with my interest, does this book set up the fact that, okay, here's the Black Order as I know them, which I kind of miss Supergiant instead of Black Swan because she's kind of a later addition. But does this book boil down to, okay, was this a cool setup for this team? Did they introduce a concept that makes me want to read further? And honestly, no, not really. I can see some people who do want to, but personally, I'm not really interested in reading anymore based on this issue, but I will give it a couple more issues to see where it goes. Not, again, just a soft recommendation on my book. I'm going to give this one just 3 Excelsiors. I'm higher than you. I'm at 3.75 Excelsiors. Because I do like Black Order. I do like the fact that they have their own separate book, and I thought it was fun. Yeah. All right, moving on to the finale of the Cosmic Ghost Rider, by Donny Cates and Dylan Burnett.
So I've been writing on this Cosmic Ghost Rider coattails since Thanos and when Donny Cates was on it, and this book is never disappointed me. The artwork is, and even with the artwork being as unconventional in the way that Jake really doesn't really like it, I noticed that Jake doesn't really comment negatively towards the art style, because the story is smart, it's clever, it's funny, it's fun. And this issue is a great way to end this run. You have Thanos, who is essentially becoming somewhat of like the Punisher because Frank Castle raising him. It was a very fun issue.
Yeah, I honestly, Cosmic Ghost Rider has been one of those really big surprise hits with me. I did not expect to really care that much about Cosmic Ghost Rider. I thought it was almost a ridiculous premise. You got the Punisher with the Ghost Rider, who's also the Herald of Galactus. I'm like, this is just way too much. But this is something I think Donny Cates is just right at home doing. This is his wheelhouse. He does great work when he's just allowed to kind of have free reign like this. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Marvel do more kind of almost Elseworld, outlandish stories like this if they could be executed to this level. But yeah, this book I think wraps it up really well. There's some really great character moments for Frank. You get to see him be a total badass. I mean, holy shit, he brings it all. Him against Thanos is just cool as shit. You see some great character moments as far as like, hey, he kind of meets his younger self who's still got Maria around. Really good stuff. And what excites me the most is that at the very end it says Cosmic Ghost Rider will return in Guardians of the Galaxy, because I want to see more of this character, and I never thought I would have said that 5 or 6 months ago.
That's one of my favorite things about this book is, like, me and you, we do have similar tastes in comic books, but there is certain aspects like Black Order and like a lot of certain, like even with the art styles, me and you do have different outlooks, and this is definitely more of a book that you would look at and go, this is something up Josh's alley.
Right.
This is something that Josh would like, but like something that Jake might go, oh, it's okay. But like, I love the fact that like you even go, this is a good book, I like it.
Yeah, it's honestly something I didn't pick up in single issue, and I'm kind of bummed now, having read the whole thing, that I didn't pick this up in single issue.
Yeah, that's good.
It might very possibly be something I pick up in single issue, I hunt down later, because we are not sitting on any issues of them.
Yeah, we sell out on them pretty fast, and it's always growing, the want for them.
Yeah, so this issue I'm going to grade, I'm going to give this issue 3.75 Excelsiors. As a whole, though, I'm going to say, because I'm surprised, it wowed me, I'm going to give it 4.2 Excelsiors as a whole. It's a good little mini-series.
I'm actually at, for this issue, I'm at 4 Excelsiors. And also for the whole series, I'm actually at 4.25.
Okay, 0.05 higher than me.
Hell yeah,
you had to do it.
0.05.
All right, moving on to Captain America, issue 5 by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Lionel Francis Yu. And guys, I'm not even going to save the surprise. This is my favorite issue of the week, and it's really hard to say that.
I feel like every time Captain comes out,
it's really hard to say that, because there's one more issue we have to go over that is just such close contention. Right. But this book, if anybody was thinking about jumping off Captain America, like I know you were in the first 4 issues, give it this issue. Wait to see what happens. If you read Ed Brubaker's Captain America, this is a must pick up series for you. there's one fight scene in this book, Cap versus Taskmaster, that holy shit. As I was talking to Josh, we're sitting here reading it, I had to put it down, kind of catch my breath and go, holy crap, that was absolutely the coolest fight with Captain America I've ever seen. And it's not because like the pencils were so great, which they are. Lionel Francis Yu, I haven't seen him do work as good as this maybe since like Secret Invasion. But that fight just had me just cheering. I was going nuts over this. And then, of course, some of the reveals in this book. I am absolutely in love with this Captain America series. I can't recommend it enough. This is a high recommendation on my part. There's only this and one other Marvel book that I would absolutely recommend, so you must get this if you're a Marvel fan. I'm giving this issue 4.4 Excelsiors.
4.4 Excelsiors.
Yeah, and I know I completely skipped you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, the best part about this is like you started off and you're like, well, I know Josh was thinking about jumping off of it, and now he's like, but I never told you what I thought about this book.
No, I'm talking about as a series as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I'm going to give it one more issue.
This was going to be my issue. This is going to be the issue that I was going to go, am I going to continue getting it? Not saying I thought that the series was bad. I thought the series was good. It's just, after a while, it wasn't my cup of tea anymore.
You got to weed them out.
Yeah, and I read this, and I was thoroughly impressed. It was great. I mean, the fight scene with Taskmaster was brilliant. I loved it, and
that's grinning ear to ear, man. I love it.
Taskmaster is one of those characters that I love. But the only thing that sucks is that it seems like nobody ever really knows how to write him or do him justice, and this does him justice. I mean, between the end of the last issue and this, like I was hoping for more of that, and I got more of it. And then the end reveal, well, I mean, which is not really an end reveal, but it's an end reveal. I was like, this is what I wanted from a Cap issue.
Exactly.
This is what I needed from the Cap issue.
Yep.
This is what I needed 2 issues ago, and then I knew then that I would not have ever considered dropping this off. Yeah. And I know we have a couple of people in our store that was, thinking, okay, I'm about to drop this off, and I feel like they were thinking the same way I was, that it just felt like it was taking a long time, a long walk for a short drink of water. But this was, it was good.
This is a classic example of my give it 5 issues. 5 issues is usually like your first arc. Typically, this is why my rule of thumb is usually give it 5 issues.
Yeah, I give it 5 issues unless it's a miniseries. I give it 3.
Okay, well, I gotta say, man, this is perfect. Slow storytelling. This is building up an event. This is building up your character. This is getting to know the writer and the artist, how they're working together. This is a great example of, I think, in my opinion, sophisticated storytelling. This is good storytelling. This isn't action storytelling. This is good, solid, sophisticated storytelling. Can't recommend it enough. All right,
but I'm going to give it 3.75 Excelsiors.
Okay, all right, a little lower than me. That's fine.
Just a little bit.
Okay, moving on to Uncanny X-Men #1 by Ed Brisson, Matt Rosenberg, Kelly Thompson, Muhammad Asrar, and is it Matt Rosenberg? There's another Rosenberg. There's 2 Rosenbergs. I don't know.
Yeah,
X-Men Disassembled Part 1. Now, this is kind of the big issue. Everyone's kind of wondering what's going to happen. The X-Men hasn't been the strongest as far as sales. It hasn't been the greatest storytelling lately. So, what is it, and am I going to pick this up for $7.99? Well, I'll tell you what. As soon as you open up this book, you are thrown straight into the fray. There's really no build-up. That you're getting blasted with whatever's happening, and it's like, holy shit, okay, I got to figure out what's going on, because by the first page, you're like, what the hell? And it doesn't stop. It doesn't slow down. There aren't many slow points. There are a couple, but you're getting a big-ass issue for $7.99, and you are going to be sitting with this book for quite a while.
Yeah, one thing is with X-Men titles, I have a hard time reading them anymore. I used to read X-Men a lot when I was younger, but it seems like I keep doing the same story over and over again, and it always seems like it's very repetitive and just not what I really want to read from an X-Men title. And then when I knew that I was going to have to read this and I saw how thick it was, I was like, Jesus. But then I read it, and it doesn't slow down. It doesn't slow down, and you're getting a lot. And for $7.99, that's a damn good price for this.
Honestly, it is.
For what you get in here, and story-wise, Kelly Thompson's parts in this was great. What you get in this book for $7.99, totally worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it as far as how much material is in this book for $7.99, because I thought, honestly, that's a high price point. No one's going to want to pick this up. But for as much material and it's in this book, yeah, $7.99 is actually a pretty generous price.
Yeah.
But I can't say it was a great, fantastic read. There are moments in it where I'm like, this is really good. There are other moments where I'm like, this is losing me. The biggest point is when I think it's, oh crap, I don't even remember. It's like Pixie and one other guy who I can't remember his name is, Anoli, I think.
Yeah.
When they're walking around and they're literally being so meta. They're talking about like, oh yeah, you know, we're relegated to these side missions. It's busy work. I think Anoli even says to her at one point, like, you know, they basically created us and then, you know, forgot about us, you know, and that kind of feels like how the artists and the writers are with these new characters. There are just so many mutants that it's like you can't do anything with all of these characters. Like some of them do have to just kind of sit on the sidelines, and that's kind of what I'm hoping this book ends up being. Now, there's no hint at it, but I kind of hope at some point Uncanny X-Men ends up being a culling of these mutants where you shrink the X-Men world down, because it's just gotten so big already. Again, in the past year and a half, you're starting to get back to the 90s again on just how broad the X-Men is. But with this book, it's not my favorite read from this week. There is a lot. There are some great moments in here. Again, there are so many writers and artists on here. You're going to be able to pick and choose what parts you like. I don't know how it's all going to spin out and how all this stuff's going to play in together. But there is one moment in here, a reveal of who's all kind of captured, let's just say, where one of the characters had me going, holy shit, this has my interest. The rest of it, not so much, but that does.
Yeah, see, I had that when I first was reading the main meat of this book, and then you get to that end reveal, I was like, okay, now I'm intrigued. Like, now I'm going to have to read the second issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when I was reading the smaller stories there towards the end, I mean, the
They're
Bishop story
throughout, though.
Yeah. The Bishop story I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kelly Thompson doing the Jean Grey story. Kelly Thompson has been just hitting it on all cylinders,
doing really well.
Yeah, and then also there's a character that's kind of like revealed at the end. I kind of already ruined that for me. Thank you for us having to do 2-month order forms.
Yeah.
I already know who this like special secret person is supposed to be, but with me knowing that, I'm already kind of excited about it.
I honestly don't remember it, so I'll have to talk off air.
Okay.
But okay, so with what I'm getting in this book for $7.99 price point, this big issue, and it also being a weekly title. So if you guys do pick this up, you will be picking this up every week for 10 weeks, right?
Yeah, and it's 10 weeks, but I do not believe that all issues are going to be $7.99. I think they go down to $5.99 after this week.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be quite a commitment. So when I think of it that way, I go, this is not something I would personally collect. I am going to keep reading it because, you know, I'm going to be able to, but with that price point, with it being weekly, with so many other titles that I'd want to be picking up, I don't know that I'd be jumping on this. So I'm going to give this one a soft recommendation, and my Excelsior rating is going to be a 3.1.
Now, I got a quick question, because you've been working in the shop a lot longer than this. Now, there's a lot of X-Men. We have a lot of people who literally just pull X-Men titles.
Yeah.
Now, all the X-Men titles are done. Like,
yeah, well,
I think there's a couple of like X-Men Red.
Yeah,
or something.
they've
and then you still
down.
have like X-23 and stuff like that. But you don't have X-Men Gold. You don't have X-Men Blue.
And now you have Return of Wolverine. You're gonna have Dead Man Logan. You've got Mr.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Mrs.
But
X
but those don't come out for a while. This will probably like be coming towards the end.
Right.
Do you think this would be a good thing for your X-Men readers?
If I'm solely collecting X-Men, then yeah, absolutely, this is a no-brainer pickup. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm at 3.5 Excelsiors.
Okay. All right, guys, and moving on to the final issue. We know this has been a long episode, but trust me, it's been worth it if you came this far, because Avengers issue 10 or 700 is a magnificent issue. This thing is cool as shit. It is so much fun. It is smart. It is well written. It is well illustrated. It has so much going for it that honestly, this is more bang for your buck. This is a $5.99 issue, but it feels like it's pretty much just as thick, just as long as the Uncanny X-Men issue 1. By far, if you're teetering between picking one or the others up, in my opinion, you pick up the Avengers issue 10, no hesitation. This book is cool as shit. Now, I know there are people who are bitching about earlier on the X-Men or the Avengers run where, oh, the 1 million BC Avengers, that didn't play out. I knew if I waited, that was going to be addressed at some point. And what's cool about the Avengers, to me, is that this book is making the rest of the Marvel Universe and their solo titles feel like a cohesive universe. Things that are happening in Iron Man, things that are happening in Captain America, things that are happening in Hulk and Infinity War. all tying into this, but not feeling hamstrung. Like, I don't feel like this book can't do what it wants to do because it's addressing those other titles, and as well as Thor. It's just enhancing your read if you are picking up those books. You're going, wow, there's so much cohesion between all these books. I can't stop talking about this book. Josh, please cut me off.
Okay. Well, this book is pretty awesome. It has some, for the size of it and how much it costs, it's definitely more bang for your buck. And plus, you get some awesome reveals that if you are a Marvel fan, even if you aren't getting Avengers and you're being stupid and not listening to me and Jake, who's been preaching that you need to be getting Avengers ever since the first issue came out, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the reveals that happen in this book is going to be changing comic books for a while.
Oh, yeah.
For Marvel Comics. And I feel like a lot of people, if you haven't jumped on it, you better go jump on it now. I know a lot of people's going to probably pick this up just because it's a landmark issue of issue 700, but there's more to it than just it being issue 700. Right. There is some cool things that happen in this book.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that trade of Avengers is actually out right now, so you guys can catch up if you really wanted to. You can get the first 5 or 6 issues in that trade, try and track down these other issues, but this is a must-read series in my opinion. I think that you have to be reading this book.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Okay.
If I was going to form my own Avengers team,
yeah.
And I was going to, I'd add Cap, Iron Man, I'd add Thor, and Hercules. Do you think that would be a good team?
No, you never go double God.
Oh, okay. Never go double God.
That is your code phrase for 20% off this Avengers book right here if you guys want it. It's not on your pull list, but any other book that's not on your pull list, you want to come pick it up, give us that code phrase. You never go double God, get 20% off. But yeah, this book, guys, and what's great is everything that's been addressed in the previous 9 issues is all still addressed. It's all still factors in here. It's not like, oh, we moved on from that. We're gonna move on and not address it any further. No, you're carrying that baggage with you, which makes it an even more rewarding read because I have been sticking with this. And honestly, a great companion pieces to this book would be the Thor series, would be the Iron Man series, would be the Captain America series. I think those would be great companions to this book. But you don't have to. I would recommend Avengers book. This is a huge, heavy recommendation on my part. I can't express it enough. Some of the stuff that happens in this book. 3 characters are revealed in this book. 3 huge reveals in this book. Plus, you get the Winter's Guard, which is basically Russia's Avengers team in this book. It is just cool as shit. I can't stop thinking about it. This one is a 4.9. Excelsiors for me. I know it's higher than Captain America. I enjoyed Captain America better, but like just how much reading material this is for the price point, for how much excitement there is. There's just too much going for this book.
And also another cool thing is how, I mean, what better way to pay a tribute to Stan than the same week that he died is also the Avengers hit 700.
Yeah, and Amazing Spider-Man also comes out.
And Amazing Spider-Man came out. Fantastic Four came out too.
Fantastic Four, yeah.
It waited. It was on a month hiatus. It was like it was waiting.
Yeah, it's
weird.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it is weird.
But now we're not going to get bummed about this because we're going to talk about how epic this book was.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give this book a 4.5 Excelsior.
Yeah, guys, this is absolutely the book you should be looking for.
Truly Excelsior.
And it's got some great covers. It's got an Art Adams wraparound cover. It's got a great Alex Ross. It's got some good Marquez.
If you get that Alex Ross, please send us pictures because Jake does not have that Alex Ross.
Yeah, fuck you. But there's a great Marquez variant. There's a great Ed McGuinness variant, Lim variant. There's some really good covers for this book.
The McGuinness cover, there's a variant for the McGuinness cover that it looks like the regular cover, only by its original team, original Avengers lineup.
Right.
And then also keep an eye out because there are some hidden gems. There's a Cockrum hidden gem, and there's also an action figure. Or no, not the action figure.
That's right, Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah.
But there is a hidden gem for the Avengers issue 700.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we know it's been a long one. We really hope you've been able to stick with us this long. We hope our enthusiasm has gotten you excited about going to pick up some of these issues. If you're listening to this after you've already picked up your issues, please in the comment section let us know, what did you think of any of the books that we covered today? Were we a little too overexcited? Were we not excited enough for you guys? For those of you who have not picked up these books, what are you excited to get? Have we swayed you one way or the other on any of these other books? Let us know in the comments below. Please like this video if you haven't already. Share this with any of your comic book reading friends. And of course, guys, subscribe to that channel at this moment right now in time. We are sitting at 799 subscribers. Someone give us that number 800. We really appreciate it. Josh, anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to say rest in peace, Stan Lee. Thank you for making us all true believers.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Take care, guys.